It does not announce itself. It does not knock. It begins in silence, somewhere deep inside the body, in a place you cannot see or feel. A single cell makes a mistake, then another, then another. And by the time a doctor sits across from you, looks you in the eye, and says those three words, the war has already started. Cancer does not care how old you are. It does not care how much you love your children, how many years you had planned, or how good a life you were building. It takes the young. It takes the old. It takes the healthy and the fragile alike. It is one of the most savage forces in nature. And here is the part that should stop you cold. It has been here since the very beginning. Long before hospitals, long before doctors, long before the human species even had a name for it. Most people assume cancer is a product of modern life. We blame fast food. We blame factory smoke. We blame screens and stress and sitting too long. And while those things do play a role, the truth runs far deeper than that. The truth is written in literally. In 2016, a team of scientists working in a cave system in South Africa pulled something extraordinary from the earth. A foot bone. Small, ancient, unremarkable at first glance. But when they ran it through high-resolution imaging, what they found changed everything. The bone was approximately 1.7 million years old. It belonged to an early human ancestor, a species that walked this earth long before our own kind existed. A malignant bone cancer called osteosarcoma, the same cancer that strikes children and young adults today. The same cancer that took Terry Fox. Growing inside a creature that had never seen fire, never spoken a word, never looked up at the stars and wondered what they were. Everything we thought we knew is cancer, not modern. Cancer is ancient. Cancer was here before we were. Here is something most people never consider. Cancer is not a disease of bone. Cancer is a disease of soft tissue. Organs, skin, blood, muscle, the intricate wet machinery inside us. And soft tissue does not survive millions of years. It decays, it disappears. What the earth keeps is bone. So every fossil we find, every ancient skeleton we study, represents only the narrowest slice of the cancers that actually existed. Scientists call this preservation bias. We are not seeing the full picture. We are seeing only the cancers stubborn enough to leave a permanent mark on hard tissue, which is exactly why mummies matter so much. Unlike bare bone, mummies preserve soft tissue. The linen, the resin, the dry desert air of Egypt. They lock bodies in a way ordinary burial never could. Found the fossil record and the mummy record together tell the same story. Ancient humans got cancer regularly. It was part of their lives the way it is part of ours. The bones tell one part of the story. The written word tells another. The Edwin Smith Papyrus is one of the oldest medical documents ever found. It comes from ancient Egypt, written around 1600 years before the Common Era, nearly 4,000 years ago. Inside it, an Egyptian physician describes something with clinical precision that would be recognizable to any oncologist today. Bulging tumors of the breast, hard, firm, spreading. And under the section marked therapy, the physician writes just three words. There is none. No treatment, no cure, no hope offered. Just the honest, devastating acknowledgement of a physician who had seen enough to know when a fight could not be won. It could have been written yesterday. Tumor-like legs reaching in every direction. He looked like a crab to him. The Roman physician Celsus later carried that word into Latin. He called it cancer. That is the word we still use today, 2,000 years later. Across Egypt, across Greece, across Rome, people saw this disease. They documented it. They tried to understand it. They just had no idea what was causing it. To understand why cancer is so ancient, you need to understand what cancer actually is at its most fundamental level. It begins with a single cell. Inside every cell in your body is DNA, a set of instructions so long that if you unraveled it, it would stretch nearly 2 meters. Every time a cell divides, it has to copy all of that. Billions of letters copied perfectly. Most of the time, the body gets it right. Built-in repair systems catch mistakes, and fix them before they cause damage. But sometimes, just sometimes, a mutation slips through. The damaged cell does not die the way it should. Instead, it divides, and divides again and again, without stopping, without listening to any of the signals telling it to slow down. It builds into a mass. It invades the tissue around it. It steals resources from healthy cells. That is cancer. And here is the critical thing to understand. Mutations happen naturally. They happen every time a cell divides. They are not caused by modern life. They are caused by being alive. Every organism with cells that divide carries this risk. Dinosaurs got cancer. Cancer. Trees develop tumors. A parasitic cancer called devil facial tumor disease has been pushing Tasmanian devils toward extinction. Cancer is not a flaw in modern civilization. It is a fundamental feature of multicellular life itself. It has always been there, waiting in the architecture of every living thing. So did ancient humans actually get cancer less often than we do today? Probably yes, but not for the reasons most people assume. The answer is not clean living. It is not a better diet. It is not some paradise of natural health we have lost. The answer is brutal and simple. They died first. The average life expectancy for a prehistoric human was somewhere between 25 and 35 years. Not because ancient humans age faster, but because the world killed them early. Infection from a small wound, a broken bone that never healed right, a drought, a predator, a tooth abscess that spread to the jaw. Most cancers develop after the age of 50. If you die at 30 from a lion attack or a fever, cancer never gets its window. Ancient humans also had a different risk profile. They did not smoke tobacco. They were not swimming in industrial chemicals. They ate unprocessed food and moved constantly. Those things genuinely reduced certain cancer risks, but they were not protected either. Smoke from open cooking fires filled their lungs every single day. Parasitic infections drove chronic inflammation throughout their bodies, and chronic inflammation is one of the most reliable ways to promote cancer. Skin cancer risk rises with unprotected sun exposure, and ancient humans had no shelter from it. They were not living in a cancer-free world. They were living in a world that killed them before cancer had the chance to. So why does cancer feel like it is everywhere now? Part of the answer is one of the great paradoxes of modern medicine. We got better at keeping people alive. We eliminated the infections that killed children. We built systems that deliver clean water and food through winter. We developed antibiotics and vaccines and surgical techniques that would have seemed like miracles 200 years ago. And the result is that millions of people now reach 60, 70, 80 years old. That is the window cancer has always been waiting for. The longer you live, the more cell divisions. The more cell divisions happen, the more chances for a mutation to slip through. Today we have imaging technology that can find a tumor the size of a fingernail buried deep inside the body before it causes a single symptom. Cancer. We are seeing cancer we would have missed entirely before. And yes, modern life does add genuine risk. Tobacco causes lung cancer, throat cancer, mouth cancer. Processed red meat is linked to colorectal cancer. Obesity connects to more than a dozen cancer types. Ultraviolet radiation drives skin cancer. These are not myths. The modern world has handed cancer tools it never had before. But here is what changes when you understand all of this. Understanding that cancer is ancient is not a reason for despair. It is the foundation of how we fight it. If cancer has been woven into the fabric of multicellular life for hundreds of millions of years, then it has also been fought for hundreds of millions of years, and some species found solutions. Elephants, for example, almost never get cancer, despite being enormous animals with trillions of cells and long lifespans. Scientists discovered why. Elephants carry extra copies of a gene called TP53, a gene that tells damaged cells to destroy themselves before they can become tumors. Researchers are now studying those genes to understand whether we can recreate that protection in human cancer treatment. Inside a creature that had never seen fire, never spoken a word, never looked up at the night sky and wondered what was out there, cancer was already there. It is one of the oldest adversaries the human lineage has ever faced. Older than language, older than tools, older than civilization itself. And for the first time in that long, long history, we are starting to understand it well enough to fight back.